Our red Zerg, we become very familiar with today. It's Richard. In the bottom left-hand corner, of course. This is blue shift as well. Speaking of blue, we got our blue Terran player. It's juggrWall. At least I assume that's how you say it. Fun name here as we get the standard supply depot at the front there. And Richard has been, in both games you've watched him, he's been pretty consistent with his build. He likes to go, he delays his extractor a little bit in favor of a bit more mineral income. And he generally likes to stay on 2 bases for quite a while. A little bit longer than most Zergs would. He's very consistent with his roach timings. He likes to go for, like, he gets the lair as he's getting his roach worn pretty consistently, and he gets that roach speed very quickly, and then he goes for that big roach timing with a couple of lings. Doesn't really like banelings too much. At least maybe that'll change this matchup. If juggrWall does go bio, banelings can be great. And then he generally transitions into, you know, the Hydralisk army with some lurkers as well. You like the lurkers in the ZVZ. But he's 1-1, so we'll see if he's going to come out victorious in this one. And now we get a scouting SUV. On the other side of the map, the barracks being built a little off-center so you can add that add-on without having to lift up the building, I believe. And I believe it's just going to be a quick expand here from juggrWall. Yep, Reaper fast expand, standard stuff from both players to start off with. As the Overlord just sitting around making sure nothing's going on. Richard continues to send out his Overlord to make sure there's an expansion going up. But we'll be interested to see if this is a mech play. Don't really know yet. Considering there's only 1 gas taken, it seems less likely. But there is a factory being added on here. So we'll see. It's still a little bit up in the air. The second gas being added on now, as the Reaper does go out. Don't believe that was spotted by the Overlord. The Overlord is actually not going straight to the natural. It's going into the main base to see the tech here. It does see the factory. I believe we'll spot this expansion momentarily as he sends the Overlord back over. A third base has been taken by Richard, so he's changing it up. And the ZVT apparently wants to expand a little bit earlier. The Zerglings are here. The Queen isn't ready yet. Good micro, though, from Richard. He's going to save these lings. Very, very good micro from both sides. We'll lose 1. Oh, no, he will not. Oh, Richard, that was great micro there with all these Zerglings. That's exactly how it's done. That's textbook stuff right there. Going to hit the inject and then have the Queen come right back to the front to help out. Does have a Queen in the main base. Already hit the inject over there. Has left one drone on gas. And looks like this Reaper will spot the third base. Oh, the Queen! Oh no, it's off creep! Walked a little too far forward, and now the Reaper will get in the main base. There's a Queen there and some Zerglings, so shouldn't get too much damage, but missed the Reaper a little bit. On the other side, though, a barracks has been added on with a tech lab and a reactor on that original factory that lifted up. So yeah, looks like it's going to at least be a start of mech as we get a couple Hellions out of that factory and a starport being added on. We'll see if that's going to be for the medevac to drop or if that's maybe Liberator or perhaps even Cloak Banshees. We'll see what happens there. Definitely opting for some harass here with these Hellions and Reapers. Definitely wants to get some damage done on those mineral lines. Standing proudly as the last remaining challenger of the night. Richard trying to do us all proud. Zergling speed has been finished there with a nice little wings on the back. Creep spread. He's prioritizing the creep spread a little bit more forward as opposed to joining up the 2 bases here. Roach Warren has been added on. Again, Richard seems to be a Roach Ravager player. He doesn't go for a bunch of high tech. He seems to want to hit those timings in the mid game with 3 or 4 bases and end it that way. Now trying to get the creep spread to the third here as the Queens make their way slowly over. The wall is going to be completed on the other side as that Overlord wasn't out of vision, so the Marine takes it down. Liberator was the choice out of the starport. Now a Viking. Do have a Marine being built here. No stim yet. Some more Hellions out of the tech lab. And looks like we're just going to have these Hellions sit in the mineral line. They're not opting for harass this time. Those Queens are protecting the third here. Spore Crawler is going to be added on. I believe they're going to be added on at every base. Yep, perfect timing. Okay, it wasn't perfect timing on that one. I guess it's perfect timing when it was made, but the other two were made later. I was hoping to scroll across and see them all being made. Now we're going to get a lot of Hellions coming out here, along with this original Reaper. Got 6 Hellions and a Reaper. And I assume the Liberators will be sent across as well. As you see, the 3rd CC is about to be finished. But before that happens, we got to worry about this attack for Richard. Rear counts are pretty even. Richard has a slight edge, about 5 workers, but that's expected, because the Terran does have mules to make up for that difference. This Hellion should be spotted here. The Queen's Roach is already ready. Richard on top of things this game. But the Viking will clear out some of these Overlords. Kind of reminiscent of the Phoenix play we saw in the last game. The last couple ZVPs, Viking sort of takes the place as the Phoenix for the Terran. Just clearing out those Overlords. And the Skin's going to come in. He's probably going to kill this Creep Tumor. Does go down. The Roaches will not be able to follow. Not fast enough. Those Hellions just zoom around. Or a little bit of vroom vroom going on. Looks like we're going to get range attack and carapace for Richard as the first 2 upgrades. Walling off the front here. The Roachborn actually is not going to be there to complete the wall. So it does leave a gap there. If you do put the Roachborn here, I believe you can wall off with the Queen on hold position, and there's no way to get through with the ground units like the Hellions, which is pretty relevant if you have them drive by and try and get through onto the main. Get information, kill drones. Layer was completed in the main base. Sometimes you'll see that at the natural. I believe Richard hasn't quite shifted those drones over to gas here. We'll do that now. So pretty much perfect saturation. Got to shift those over at the 3rd too. Richard been pretty on top of things. Has denied almost all the attacks here. Denied the Hellions, denied the Reaper initially. Looking very good this game. 64 drones now to 51 workers for juggrWall. Reducing them 3 at a time here. This command center is just sitting in the wall. He hasn't actually lifted it up yet. He's trying to be very safe. He sees the Roaches, he sees the Zerglings at the beginning, and he's just worried about an attack, so he's just going to play it safe because he obviously can't complete the wall until he lifts this, but now we'll do so and probably send some SCVs over to complete the wall, or just send them over to 3rd to mine. Quite a few Marines being headed out here, so he hasn't really committed to a mech play. It's definitely going to be bio in the end here. See a few SCVs. Forgot to rally back the mineral lines. Some siege tanks now going to be the transition, and if the bio transition well as long as he gets these medevacs out. We'll see if there's a drop coming in. Is an armory being made here for the siege tank upgrades as well as start up 2-2 for that bio. But these medevacs will head across. Nope, they're going to drop right back out. Okay, never disregard what I'm saying, I guess. There's unfortunately, I think there's too many Marines to actually load up in here. I think there's too many. So I'm not sure what juggrWall's plan is here, but Richard is looking for that 3rd base. It's actually built on the other side, though, so these Zerglings won't find it. Perhaps looking to make their way in, though. Once juggrWall, his attention is put over here at this attack here, which there's a slight drop over there. A couple units over there. Will be cleaned up. Once his attention is torn away, Richard could just counterattack, just put the Zerglings on a move, and send them into Naturals. Creep gets cleaned out. A couple Ravagers will be morphed in. Some Roaches here to hold this, though. And all the Marines will be picked up here. No way to stop that drop. And now the Zerglings will get in to their quick deaths. Can get quite in past. I think they A-moved and just ran straight into the army as opposed to running into the natural where Richard wanted them to go. The Roaches are moving in along with the Ravagers here. Going to split off in 2 sections here to try and deny some of that AoE. But those Marines actually pretty good kiting there. Stimmed forward and very good A-moving. Alternating with those movement commands. Just kiting forward. As a couple Roaches actually, they rallied the wrong way and ran straight past the army. But they're okay. They're going to get over here. Richard does have a 4th base, but not too much mining on there. You're probably going to rally all those probes, or those drones over. It's a pretty solid army from Richard. Just sitting on 1-1 for both sides, as of right now. The armory's working on 2-2. And juggrWall moving out with his army on the other side. Does mean there's an opening here for Richard. Has taken out the rocks now. If he could just move right up here, this natural still hasn't been walled off, actually, which is a pretty big gap. I'm surprised he hasn't used it, because he's got 3 supply depots over here. Like, you could just put those right there on the wall, but doesn't want to waste mining time. Oh, now the Roaches and Ravagers are moving in, and the wall is not there, so they're going to move in, kill some siege tank rallying out, and they're probably going to get this natural base as well. unless it lifts up in time. But even then, the Corrosive Bowels are going to do the work here. There's just too much. On the other side, juggrWall is attacking. And so looks like we might have a big trade on our hands. A Siege Tank on the high ground. We'll take out a few roaches, but it's definitely not going to be enough here. juggrWall is doing a lot of damage on the other side, taking out the Evolution Chambers and the Roach Warren, I think. Tunneling Qualls is being researched, so if that's taken down, it's a little bit of a annoyance there for Richard. He is supply block right now. A ton of Overlords got killed because of... Well, now the SV's huddling in the corner. A ton of Overlords got killed because they were all at the natural base. Almost all of them, anyway. And now... Oh, if he can destroy this before 2-2 is finished, that's huge. He's got to destroy this before 2-2. Got to do it, Richard. Richard! Yes! Oh, he got it! Okay, 2-2 isn't completed. Oh, that was a tense moment. Denying 2-2 there was huge. On the other side, the natural and main base have been taken out for juggrWall. There's a base. Oh, no. That's a really long distance mine there. Another base has been started up for Richard. He's got resources for a couple more, so he probably will start up a few more in a moment. And Richard will now supply block juggrWall. Richard was able to actually unsupply block himself. He made a bunch of Overlords. But all the production facilities from juggrWall are going to be moved here in the air, and they're going to try and move over to this corner where the orbital and the rest of the barracks and the SVs have been put. But both players still have to deal with the enemy army, and both players are supply blocked right now as more Overlords and supply depots have been taken out, and one drone in the corner going to be found and killed. And he's going to move over to the corner here. Maybe thinks there's a base here. There's just creep, though. Creep timber will be used beforehand, and the extractors will be taken down now. So this is a very interesting situation where there's essentially base trade came in. Both players have bases available, though. 1-to-1 for both sides, but not able to mine right now because they're both building. Oh, and now the siege tanks are going to siege up, but is it going to be enough? The Roach Ravagers have pretty good concave. Oh no, the Corrosive Bowels taking on the siege tanks. Just one more left. It will fall as well. Just the bio now. Oh, and the medevacs are very low too. As they could hit them with the Corrosive Bowels, that'd be huge. More medevacs coming in to try and heal up these Marines, but there's just not enough Marines, I don't think. The Queens are making their way across to try and kill these medevacs. Medevacs do pick up and try to make their way out. The boost out, but that's just a few Marines left. The medevacs actually don't fire, so gonna need combat units. And a lot of these barracks are still in the air here, and he's supply blocked as well. He's got to build enough supply depots. Still isn't mining here. His SCVs are just sitting idly, and the orbital's actually not in the right spot either, so the macro here isn't on point from juggrWall, and that might open up an opportunity for Richard to take this game. He's still got 4 Queens at that, well, I guess this is a new main base, rebuilding the spawning pool, and he's got another one being built here on the high ground on the other side. And now Richard moving across with the remaining roaches. There's a couple of medevacs looking into the main, trying to see if there's anything left there. We'll find the Overlord, but he's got to worry about this army from Richard. These roaches and ravagers are very key here. Another base has been added on for Richard. He's got 3 now, but only 2 have been completed, and 1 isn't even really mining. So this is a pretty tense base trade situation here. There's a lot of barracks, but most of them don't have add-ons right now, and he's actually long-distance mining, essentially, because his orbital wasn't put down in the right place. And juggrWall hasn't made a second orbital command. Or excuse me, from the original. He's lifted up another one, but he doesn't actually have another one in another place, like mining as a base, which is kind of important, because you'd rather mine from 2 bases rather than 1. As the roaches did find the medevacs there, but I think everyone got it okay. Well, the 1 medevac carrying all the Marines is a little bit low. He's got 25. A bunch of mules going to be dropped as well. He's got 25 workers on this mineral patch. I think you might want to lift this up and go somewhere else, but there is creep here, so you can't actually drop a base down there. There's creep over here. Can't drop a base down over here. His only real options are here and here to try and land a base on here. This is a Viking going to find another Overlord. This Viking has been very pesky. I think he's only made 1 this entire game. He's got 6 kills, and he's just been hunting Overlords this entire game. We should also try to re-establish some creep spread on this side. He's going for these Overlords in the new main base, but these Queens should be able to deny this. We'll get the last shot and kill. Oh no, the Overlord actually survives. That's very nice. Richard has banked up a lot of gas as well. So we'll see if he decides to tech up here. He's just got that Roach Ravager army. He's just building roaches right now, though. He hasn't opted for more tech. Isn't even taking any more gas geysers either on the other side. Third base isn't mining yet, but will probably be shortly, as the 2 bases he does have been saturated. The Rack's going to be taken out again. Trying to make sure the map is as open as possible. Some more siege tanks and Marines have been added on. Yeah, feel free to send in replays. I can link my post on Reddit after the game is over. You can just respond to that, or you can message me. I'm not Kios on Reddit, and or you can direct. I don't know if you can DM me on Twitch or whatever. Just any of those ways, or I can link to you after the game. I think this might be the last for the night. Actually, we got some time. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, send those in, and I'll do it tonight or tomorrow, and we'll get those replays in. So that'll be awesome. But thanks for taking the time to do that. Richard seems to hate these rocks. He's trying to move through one right now, but I don't think you can do that. I think those are pretty solid. Another Overlord going to fly to its death. There's a lot of Overlords. 37 Overlords have been killed this game. The Queens are here to fight with the rest of the army. The Roach Ravagers are coming in. The Siege Tank siege up, but yep, they will get their fires off. Last fight they were denied, and the Corrosive Battles will come in again. 3 Siege Tanks still available. No, oh, just one more now. The Corrosive Battles have been fantastic. And the final Siege Tank will go down. The Liberator on the other side, though, taking down some drones. Will get destroyed by the Queens, though. Richard is in control here. He's destroyed most of the army. Just 1 to 2. No. The Orbital on the other side. As I was saying, the creep is here. He hasn't been able to destroy this creep tumor, so the creep is there, and he's actually not able to drop to the base. He hasn't actually gone to the one location he can. Instead, he's going to scan and destroy the creep so that juggerWall can get that second base down. But, yeah, not mining from 2 bases for this long is pretty bad. Meanwhile, Richard's been mining from 2. Still hasn't rallied out to the 3rd. He doesn't seem to want to commit his forces over there. He's getting tunneling claws now. As I was saying, he does have a bunch of gas banked up. Not mining any gas right now. Is Richard? His main army again just going to kill the rocks. I think Richard's just super uncertain about how much army juggerWall really has. He really doesn't have much. If Richard honestly just took the fight right now, I think he'd win. But he's also maybe worried about anti-air because he just has Roach Ravager. But, I mean, juggerWall is just committed to Marines and tanks, so. And obviously those bruised medevacs on the other side. He hasn't actually decided to repair those, even though he's got 1,500 minerals. He's just going to leave those. Adding on some add-ons now. Reactor going down, maybe some... Nope, just going to make some more Marines out of those. Not going to add the add-ons. Another Overlord going to go down again. What's that, 38 Overlords? Jeez. Roach Ravager will take out another Supply Depot, though. Another Overlord spotting here in the main. Another drop going to come in and clear that one up. So that'll make it 39 Overlords. There's been a lot. Tons of add-ons have been killed. We got Orbitals. We got Engineering Bays, Liberators, 45 workers for juggerWall, and 59 for Richard. That's just a lot. That's just a lot of dead units. juggerWall will finally get the second base up and mining. And now adding on an engineering bay. I don't know if he has an armory anywhere. Units. Yeah, I don't know if he's actually got an armory anywhere, so he can actually start 2-2. Yeah, I don't think he does, unless it wasn't killed in the main base. But I think it was. Meanwhile, the Roaches have been trying to deal with this drop on the other side. This medevac has a ton of Marines in it. That's well, a ton of 7 Marines. Definitely wouldn't stand up to these Roaches, but that drop was just trying to clear out Overlords and things. I think that these creep tumors actually denied Richard from expanding this location again. Again, this base in the corner still isn't mining here. Both these players are like very, very scared here. Richard also using those tunneling claws to get some vision on this orbital over here. Again, was able to take out all those workers, I believe. So +2 range attack is going to come in for Richard momentarily. Siege tanks and missile turrets in production here for juggerWall. He's trying to play this very safe and just try and get the second base mining, I think. But those Roaches have done a good job of denying that. I was so concerned with those other Overlords, we missed that. The Queen's now trying to spread some more creep over here. Richard has re-established creep on pretty much all the map. It's one drop from juggerWall trying to get some damage done. We'll find the creep tumors. And make their way out safely. Again, Richard still doesn't have anything that shoots up besides Queens, so... Finally has his base mining. There we go. Good job, Richard. You got the base mining. I probably wouldn't have had it mining the entire game, so I can't really blame you, but took a while. He finally did it though. In all fairness though, juggerWall hasn't been mining for like, I don't know, 10 minutes on this base, so it doesn't really matter in the end. These Queens, they're committed to spreading creep. They are committed to it. Alrighty. Now the army from juggrWall will be moving out across the map. A couple siege tanks blocked in by the Marine pals, but now he's making Hydralisk. Richard's now got Hydralisk in production. Got an infestation pit as well. Believe we have some upgrades from Hydralisk as well, and that second Carapace upgrade as well. Now this Terran army continuing to move forward, trying to actually miss the creep tumor there with that scan, so well, creep are going to survive, but these Hydralisks are not going to for sure. The Marines stimming forward, moving forward onto these Queens. They will go down. Just one left, second one joining from the base, but these Hydralisks need these Roaches to come in and help them, and they do. Of course, the battle's raining down. The tanks, 2 go down. The Ravagers on the other side are trying to kill these tanks. One very low, another one bruised. Ravagers, of course, the battle's got to be huge. They got to be on point here. Another one goes down. Just a couple Marines and Marauders left. They will force away these Hydralisks and Ravagers, though. So pretty even trade overall. And considering Richard has a much better economy, I'd actually say that favors him for the most part. As he's got 3 bases mining to 2. Actually, not even 2. Richard's multitasking better than I can. He's killed all the workers on this base and forced them to lift. 1 SCV was saved in one of the command centers, but yeah, Richard, much better player than I am. I can tell you that much. Now, more Roaches and Hydralisks coming in. They're cutting forward aggressively. These tanks are not sieged up. They're going to try to, but that one's already dead. A second one falling. And now these Medivacs doing their best to heal these Marauders, but it's just not going to be enough. The tank going to fall. The Marauder's going to fall. And juggrWall will fall as well. The wall falls. And Richard will be victorious.